Hi all, I'm Tony, SV Tapatya. We're building a sailing boat, a cruising sailboat. As you probably just noticed, it's pretty chilly. We're in the middle of what's hopefully a very short cold snap, but it's now midday on a sunny, beautiful blue sky, but the frost hasn't burnt off yet. That's sort of temperatures, and you can see it's pretty cold. And the shed is now in the process of thawing, minus temperatures at night. The shed roof freezes up, and now it's thawing out, dripping all over the place. And these temperatures at the moment mean it's impossible for us to do any epoxy work. So, but we've been busy doing other things. It's only been this temperature the last few days, so earlier in the week we had a chance to get a few bits done. And let's have a look at what we've been doing this week. We'll go inside first and start in there, I think. Come this way. So first thing we did was in the heads here. I cut a couple of grooves in the woodwork underneath here so we can run some pipes through, some water pipes through, and the hole where it comes up. And one section, this is only sat here, but this section here is, when the floor's down, is completely sealed off. I've got no access there, so I don't like that idea. So I bought this very nice stainless access hatch and made it so that'll fit in there. Obviously part of the job of boat building is getting tools, getting in supplies for the build and maintaining tools, and I've got this very cheap and nasty compressor. Well, it's not nasty, but it's a cheap compressor which I use on occasions. It's fine, but it's now something's gone wrong with it, and it runs up and the pressure release valve blows pressure off, which isn't supposed to happen. It's got a pressure switch that's supposed to switch the compressor off when it runs up to pressure, and that's not very satisfactory. So I ordered a new switch and fitted it in there, and then we gave it a run up to see what happens. Here's the switch here, easy enough to replace. Here's the new one I've got. Certainly looks like the right one. That's the black one on the front there. That blue one shouldn't make any difference really. They didn't want that coming out that way, did they? Take the thread. Do the job, shouldn't it? See what happens. Run it up. That don't work then, does it? And as you'll see, that didn't work. It must be this pressure release valve. when I read the switch off pressure on the switch, we're not getting up to that. I think it's 120 pounds a square inch switch off, and the pressure release valve's blowing off before then. So it must be this that's got weak. I suppose I have to get a new pressure release valve. But actually knowing that is actually quite reassuring that we're not reaching switch off pressure and it's actually blowing off before then. It means it's not overstraining itself, doesn't it? So in a way, that's not too bad. Anyhow, I dare say I'll order one of those next and get that. Yeah, and I talked about earlier getting supplies in, and we had to take a bit of a road trip this week because, as you'll see, if you scan across those, very exciting at the front there, we picked up a pulpit for the boat. Looking pretty good there, but in truth it needs one or two little tweaks, one or two little bends to make it fit properly, but I'm pleased with it. It's from a 33-foot Hallberg Rassi, second hand, with nav lights. Looks good there. So, big morning. We're off to quite a long drive. We're off to have a look at a pulpit for the boat that I saw on eBay Small Ads. It's in the north of Bremen, so it's sort of most of the way to where Hazel's got her boat. So we're going to have a look at this pulpit, and then we're going up to Hazel's boat after that. Let's go. So, forgive me if I don't look at the camera. This is the German Autobahn, where you saw a bit of Autobahn earlier with 120 speed limit on it, but now we're onto a section with no speed limit. You can go as fast as you like. There is literally no limit, which is quite an amazing thing, and it works really well. Being a Brit, I have this sort of magic number of 100 miles an hour, which is what we're doing now, and that seems to be fast, you know, but the Germans, you'll get, in fact there's a car coming up very quickly behind me now. I'm doing 100 and he'll be doing quite a bit more than that. It's an amazing experience. But as I say, on these no speed limit bits, if I can do 100 miles an hour, I feel like I'm flying. The magic Thumb Up Club. And you know, there are very few accidents on these things. People know how to deal with it. Watch this car come past us. This is me doing 100, remember? He's going fairly fast. Yeah, almost no accidents on them. I suppose you could argue that it's not the most environmentally friendly way to drive because your fuel consumption will be up, no doubt, but the safety argument I don't think adds up, because you know, these no speed limit sections are places where the road's good, where there's not too much traffic, so it's done sensibly and they're great. Drive as fast as you want. favourite practice.
Yeah.
So let's get it out. Give a weight to it. There's a Halberg Grassi from a Halberg Grassi 33 pulpit. A bit of a clean up, and I'll make that a bit bigger. Other than that, it looks decent. Obviously had a bit of work done here and there, but it's in good nick. And it came with the 2 nav lights, which are very nice looking nav lights. Very good. Let's see if it fits. Good. We're through. We turned around the right way. Oh, it looks okay. Good. The front feet are too close together, so I've got to bend those out a bit. But if you imagine those front feet bent out a bit. Other than that, the angle on these feet is perfect to the angle of the bulwarks, absolutely perfect. And then obviously needs a tweak here and there, but that'd be cool, wouldn't it? It's nice and big, actually. And as I say, running around getting things in. Another thing we had to go off and get, and it's certainly not a hardship, quite the opposite. But one of our lovely viewers, subscribers, supporters, Till, lives fairly locally. He's helped us on several occasions, donated materials to the cause. I think a few weeks ago I said he donated a very nice piece of wood, piece of Sitka spruce, which will, I hope, become the tiller of the boat. Lovely. And he emailed me in the week and said he had a planer thicknesser, surplus to needs. Would I like it? At a very reasonable price, and indeed I do. So here we go. Picked up this little beauty, planer thicknesser. It's going to be ideal for cutting the boards that I want to, the thin boards that I want to put. This is the hatch turtle here that we're looking at, laid on the saw bench as it stands, and I want to put thin black locust boards across there. Also on the lazarette hatch, also on the floor, the cabin sole inside, hardwood flooring. So ideal for that, it'd be perfect. It's a great little machine. I've run it up, works nicely. So looking forward to using that. Brilliant, thank you, Till. And obviously all this, driving around and picking stuff up, whilst it's essential to the build, it does sort of, it stops you actually getting on particularly well, although picking stuff up is part of getting on, but you always feel that you want to be hands-on building things. It's that time of year when things are sprouting out of the ground in the forest as well. So Karen and I we went out for about an hour in the forest mushrooming, and they're all over the place. Great harvest. It's a great mushroom year. I picked some parasols a week or two ago, which we had for dinner, and a very nice omelette. And I say we went out one afternoon this week and collected a whole load of mushrooms, which gave us a feast for, I think we ate various mushroom meals for about the next 3 or 4 days. Delicious, very nice. Okay guys, that's it for this week, I think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe please, thumbs up, leave a comment, and hopefully we're back to building temperatures next week, or at the weekend is the forecast. We're back at it, to gluing that hatch turtle back together, which is what I'm really desperate to get on with right now. So, see you next week. Bye.